What's up, everybody? It is Captain Razhe, and we are here today with something a little different. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I would say Final Fantasy is my biggest, most favorite series ever. I'm getting comfy in my chair because we're going to be here for a while. What are we doing here? This looks like a tier list. It sure is. It sure is a tier list. I am rating every single Final Fantasy game that I have played, and I want to just see, where do my interests lie? Because honestly, it's more interesting when I put it on a tier list, right? Let's see where things go. Everyone cares about the opinions of a tier list, right? So this idea has actually, it came to me shortly after I watched a friend of mine's video. His name's Tragic. He's an actual good friend of mine. I'll post his video down below in the description. He did his own tier list of Final Fantasy games, but he didn't do all of them. He did a couple. Like mostly the main lines, a couple other ones. But I just wanted to go in. I wanted to just get in there. So I got all the mainline games, mainline game sequels, as well as a couple of the notable spin-offs. I skipped all the mobile gacha games because your luck determines your enjoyment there to an extent. So it wouldn't be fair, and also outside of War of the Bravest, I think it's called. It's the Final Fantasy Tactics gacha game. That's the only one I really played. So, and it's just like, oh, I want this character, and it's just like they never show up or it takes forever, and then it's like, all right, I got it, and then that's it. I haven't touched any of the other gacha games. I could have put that on my list here, but just keep it easier. Anything notable? So we got like S for the best of the best. We got F for the worst of the worst, and then we just have this never played or something that I've played some of, but not enough to form a real solid opinion on. So that's why this category exists. Alright, so hooray. Hooray. So that's basically it. I'm going to go over each of the versions of the game that I have experience with, and that's going to be my overall opinion on the game. That's where I'm going to put it. So the NES version of one, or the original version of a game, might be the only one I played, but it might not be. And the later versions might make it a better experience, so that's why I'll put higher, maybe lower if it somehow makes it worse. But yeah. Otherwise, great. We're going to go over it, and overall enjoyment will determine its tier list placing. Alright? Great. So let's get started with Final Fantasy 1. That's been released on every single console, almost ever. It's a classic. It's an absolute classic. And I know it's early, but it's going straight into S tier, baby. Final Fantasy 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. And that being said, do not play the NES version. I recommend playing either the PlayStation, the GBA, the PSP, or the Pixel Remaster. The NES version has two main bugs, or two main problems. I don't want to say bugs, but one of them is bugs. The intelligence stat doesn't work. Some of the spells just flat out don't work, and it's just not as good as a result. And also, equipment's inventory space is terrible in the original, because you're limited to 4 weapons and 4 armor per character, so that's 16 slots. And that also factors in what people have equipped. So by endgame, you're not able to pick up any armor because everyone's going to be wearing a helmet, a shield, or gloves. Not a shield, we didn't have shields back in the day. A helmet, gloves, a chest piece, and maybe a shield. Oh yeah, there are shields. So it's it loads up your inventory and it kind of sucks clutter-wise. But every single version afterwards fixed that, so that makes them better. And also with the later versions, I don't know when it started. It might have been Game Boy Advance or it might have been PSP. They added more healing items to the game. And with that alone, it makes it so you don't have to use a white mage, which is amazing. And by that I mean, white mages are fine, it's just... it allows you to actually be more creative with your party, which was a cool thing about 1. Because you could pick any combination of the 6 classes, jobs as they were, and just go with it. You can have 4 fighters, you can have 4 black belts, 4 whatever, or you can be me and just be like, fighter, red mage, white mage, black mage, you know? It's great, you can just play whatever, and it's great, especially in the later versions. It's like I said though, don't play the NES version. I want to do another Final Fantasy 1 playthrough. I don't know how. I don't know if I just want to do like the PSP version or do the Pixel Remaster. There is a randomizer for the Pixel Remaster, so maybe I'll take a look at that someday. I don't know. It's a hell of a good time. I love 1. I'm always happy to play 1 again. So, excuse me, I lost my words. So, yeah, Final Fantasy 1, S tier. It's something I love going back to. It's so replayable. Pixel Remaster is a great way to play it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Let's move on to Final Fantasy 2. Oh, Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 2. You're a stinker. You're an absolute stinker. But you do have some qualities that I really like. I like the story's tone, where it's actually kind of dark. Compared to like every other Final Fantasy game, I don't think there's a more consistently dark tone to the series. Maybe with 16, maybe Type 0, I don't know, but I kind of like how 2's tone is. Also, it's totally like half France with Guy and Maria. Like, these people are definitely more French than other games in fantasy. Like, it gives me French undertones. I'm probably like super racist and wrong on that, so feel free to tell me in the comments how wrong I am. But otherwise, I kind of like that, and I want to give games some credit with the level up system wanting to be different, where the more you use a stat, the better they get. That's really cool, and it lets anyone be anybody. But yeah, I don't like it for the weapons and spells itself, because that's just obnoxious. It's really annoying trying to level up things to 16. But bless the Pixel Remaster for giving us ×4 speed on that shit. So, hooray! As for version I'd recommend playing for 2, I would say either Pixel Remaster or the PSP version. The PSP version has obviously the most content, so that's like a go-to obvious part, right? And then that leaves the Pixel Remaster not having the content, but it's also just like semi-random dungeons. That's all it is, and you get an ultimate weapon and another spell at the end. That's all well and good, but it doesn't add much. Although the PSP version does have a post-game story that utilizes some of the characters, and they use whatever they've had equipped at the end of their segment of the game. So that's really, really cool. It sucks when you don't prepare for that and the game throws hell at you for some reason. I don't get why, but it happens. But otherwise, yeah, no, it's not a very good Final Fantasy. The characters themselves are pretty boring, and that's not good for Final Fantasy. The level up system is obnoxious. It's unique, and I think because of that it's unique, I'm gonna put it in the E tier. It's almost F tier. Alright, it's almost bad. But there's some interesting stuff that just I don't want to put it in the bottom slot. Now let's go to Final Fantasy III, one of the most interesting games to talk about, because there's only 2 real versions. There's 3, but there's only 2 real versions. The 2D version and the 3D version. So when it comes to recommending which one to play for Final Fantasy III, there is no wrong answer. There is just flat out no wrong answer. That sounds like a cop-out, but hear me out. 3D Remake that was introduced on the DS and the Pixel Remaster are two different games. They follow the same plot, but that's about it. They got the job system, that's it. So let's talk about that job system, because that's clearly the most interesting thing here. It's a great game. It's really cool. It's a really neat little thing where you can swap your jobs around, and you get your own unique skills per job. They can cast spells, equipment, it's all that. It's standard stuff, but you never really saw swapping jobs like this, except for maybe Dragon Quest III. But I don't know when these came out in relation to each other, so it's hard to say which one really did it. But even then, with Dragon Quest III, you couldn't freely swap them. So that gives it a unique, very unique. And I like that, because you can change to whatever you need for the situation, and you're not going to be crippled. It's really cool. Now, I will mention that because there's only, for 2D versions, there's only the Pixel Remaster and the original, I recommend the Pixel Remaster because there's some chunkiness that gets removed. It got removed due to polish and stuff. In the original game and in the 3D remake, but like I said, it's a different game, basically. There's a restriction on class changing where you had to like do a lot of battles to get points, and then you can spend those points to switch your jobs. Pixel Remaster removes that, so you can just play how you want. You can swap freely. It's great. The only real gripe I have with this is the level up system. I'm gonna bitch about this level up system every single time, alright? I'm gonna talk about it for every Final Fantasy game that I have a problem with. There is something wrong with every leveling system in Final Fantasy. In 2, it was the gain stuff, whatever. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. I don't care for it, whatever. In 1, the only real issue was if your non-magic using classes became magic classes, so the fighter and thief. If you class change way too late, you lose spell slots. But you have to be basically playing really bad for that to happen, so it's not a big deal. It's overall not a big deal. With 3, alright, 3 lies to you. And you won't catch it on your first run, probably. But you might. You might. Stats are determined simply by what level you are and what job you are. Simple as that. You go up in levels, and if you switch, say if you had like a fighter and a white mage, and they both leveled up to 20. Then for the 21st level, they were a red mage, they'd have the exact same stats, except for one stat, and that was the HP. The HP in the Final Fantasy III is based on a percentage based solely upon their stamina stat, or their vitality, or whatever it's called. So because of that, any level you got that where you weren't the highest stamina class is a non-optimal level, and I hate that. I hate that so much. So real quick, just so you know, when you got your first crystal, it's the black belt, it's the best vitality. Second crystal, it's the knight. And third crystal, and basically the rest of the game, it's the Viking. So if you want to gain HP, those are the classes, because your HP does not change between classes. So you gotta make it count. Don't have those bad level ups. If you need to grind, to make everyone the classes that I recommended. But regardless of that fact, 3 is still an amazing game. Would I say it's the best? No. I haven't played the original, and I haven't played through the 3D game, so I don't know the hell. But Crystal Tower can go fuck itself. I know the story. I could tell what was changed in the Pixel Remaster to make the Crystal Tower better. Because it was a gauntlet, and it was unfun. I'm putting it in B tier because, well, on top of that, there are some parts of the game that basically railroad you into playing a certain class or job, and that sucks. It's stupid. It's unfun, because it's like, oh, if you're not this, game over. That sucks. They're few and far between, but they do exist, and it's just, ugh. So anyways, B tier. I think it's the perfect spot for it. I highly recommend playing 3. Just like how everyone and their mother recommends Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy IV, great game. This is when I was gonna say it's when the first game that the story really took priority. 2 had a story and its preset characters, but the characters weren't characters, so whatever, right? Other than that, the characters are all right, I would say. It's cool that the main character Cecil and Rosa's love interest, it's cool to see them, they're together and they're happy. But the problem with that is also, since this was an established part before the game even starts, there's no, like, tension in their relationship, and it kind of sours it a little bit. Especially because they put Kane in, and it's supposed to be, it's a love triangle. But the problem is the love triangle doesn't work because the couple's already established. Oops. There's also some weird elements in 4, and I don't want to go I was gonna say I don't want to go too heavily into spoilers, but it's whatever. This is too bad. Nobody dies in this game. Basically, nobody dies in this game, and that like really kills a lot of the moments in the story. Oh man, but it's still a classic, so I'm gonna put it in the B tier slot. I'd put it below 3. I'd rather play 3 before 4. But it's a good game. It's alright. It was one of the first notable stories. And it's probably the earliest game we'll ever see a sequel to. With Final Fantasy IV After Years, I'm tossing this in D tier. Holy shit, okay. So I played 4 After Years on the PSP version. I was actually saving it for this point. So that's the best way to play it. Pure and simple. Just do it. Just play the PSP version. Don't even worry about it, and play the Pixel Remaster if you can't find a legal copy and you don't want to be illegal, boy. Don't be bad. Give Square your money. Show your loyalty. But no, okay, so for both, like, there are multiple re-releases, obviously, for both 4 and the After Years. 4 was originally released on the Super Nintendo. You can tell by the graphics, it was barely in it, and barely a Super Nintendo game. To my understanding, it was an NES game until it wasn't, which is why the graphics look as they do. Which is fine, but hey. And then it got re-released on PlayStation, got re-released on Game Boy Advance, and it got re-released on PSP. The PSP version and Game Boy Advance versions had the coolest thing ever in there, where normally when you play the game, it's your party members are pre-scripted, like they're set to be who they are for that point. But at the end of the game, in those later versions, you can actually just swap out people, and that's really cool. But unfortunately, it's only for the end of the game, like final dungeon, but still, really nice. Adds a nice little bit of I don't want to say replayability. You can just make a save before you start the section and then, swap people out. Anyways, really cool. Final Fantasy IV After Years started out, I think, as a phone game? It's really weird. I know it was available on Wii, on the WiiWare section. We had to, buy every single episode. But the PSP version has everything in one go. So that's honestly the best way. Oh, wait. I forgot. There's also a DS version, a 3D remake, just like how 3 had one. I would say, though, I haven't touched those versions for both 4 and After Years, but they are, different games, to my understanding. It's just like 3 and 3 and with 3D port, that's weird to say. So, they're different games. Here, the 3D games are a lot harder, but I don't know. I haven't touched them. But to my knowledge, the After Years is available there, so that's probably the only legal way you can play it right now. Unless I'm super wrong, which is very possible. But anyways, back to After Years. After Years is bite-sized. I like the principle of it, but oh my god. All the individual chapters are cool. But the final chapter is basically just everyone gets together. Now you do a really long dungeon that's just filled with references to other Final Fantasies, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Enjoy, you idiot. And it's just like, I don't know. I felt fatigued when I played it. It has its moments, but a lot of the characters just suck. That's another problem. Because a lot of people are just there. And it almost feels like 4 original kept everyone alive just so after years could happen. I know that sounds really weird to say, but like, ugh. Anyways, at least 4 after years didn't commit the sin of Final Fantasy IV's random level generation after level 71. So that's cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy IV was funny like that with the, your level ups are determined solely, or preset, up to 71, and then after that it's random. Okay, you know what, that's fine. I like that, a little random. But here's a question. Why are my stats going down? Oh, that's a part of the randomization process? Oh, cool. That's exactly what I like. A bad level up. Oh, that's horrible. Stats go down. Why would I want stats to go down? It's stupid. It's disgusting. I don't like it. Hey, Pixel Remaster took that out. I take back what I said. Don't play the PSP version. Play the Pixel Remaster. Okay, but for real, you're not likely gonna hit 71 if you're just playing the base game, so it's not even, like, you're not even close. You're probably gonna be like 50, so it's not an actual big deal unless you're like one of those people who get all the way to 99. Don't know who'd do that on a Final Fantasy IV playthrough. Anyways, so overall, I guess 4 is a good game, I would say, and then just After Years is like flipped. I liked the party member system. I kind of would like more, though. I'd like more. And also, After Years ends weirdly on like a weird cliffhanger, and we're never going to see the sequel to that. So, cool. Thanks for the pointlessness of it all. Thanks. Alright, what's our next game? Final Fantasy V. Ooh, baby. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. We played this on the channel, I want to say this year. Maybe it was last year. Played it for Pixel Remaster all the way through. I maxed out every job. That was the first time I've ever fully played the game. So, it's a fairly fresh opinion, but it has no problems with the level up system that I'm aware of. It just works, and it's fun. It's a fun Final Fantasy. Is it the best Final Fantasy? Some people would say yes. I think there's a couple of games better than it. I wouldn't say it's the greatest game ever, but if I had to put it on here, I'd put it in the A tier. Final Fantasy V is so fucking good. Oh my god. It's just how the job system works, where you can just mix and max skills. Oh, you just take that skill from this job and put it on. Oh my god, my fighter now has Cure, so he's basically a paladin. That's a simple way to play. Or you can do, oh, I don't know. Oh, the red mage learns dual cast, which allows him to double cast any spell they have. I'm gonna go put that on my summoner so I can double summon Bahamut. Okay. Alright. And also, oh, I mastered all these jobs. Alright, I'm gonna go play the freelancer job, and look at that, all my passives transfer, and I get to choose any 2 skills. So I'm gonna pick the spellcaster's magic weapon. I'm gonna use flare on it, so I have the most powerful spell on my sword. And then I'm gonna take the ranger's X-cut ability, so that way I can attack 4 times, all of them with that high-powered magic in my sword. And because I've mastered the ninja class and gotten dual wield, I'm going to attack 8 turns. 8 times a turn. Oh my god, it's so easy to break 5. It's so great. What version do I recommend? This is where things get rough, and especially what I'm about to say is going to apply to 6. And this is where I'm going to get upset. For 5 and 6, every single re-release has a problem. And it makes me so mad. It makes me so fucking mad. We got the base game, on the SNES. Okay, we got the PlayStation version. That has the problem of load times. That sounds like a weird complaint, but it adds up. There's the GBA version, which sounds like ass, quite frankly. It just sounds horrible. But it adds content. Oh my god, so if I just fix the music, great. Then there's the PSP version that doesn't exist. We could have had everything on the PSP, but they only did 1, 2, and 4, so fuck me. And then we finally got those phone versions, which look ugly as sin. And it's not fixable. So then that just leaves the Pixel Remaster, which is basically just a cleaner version of the original. So there's no definitive version, and it's so frustrating. I guess if you are willing to ROM hack, you can fix the music for the GBA and then be good, but just stick to the Pixel Remaster, I guess. Oh man. It hurts. Oh, also, I will mention that 5's music is outstanding. All the Final Fantasy music is usually really good, but 5 stands out, and Gilgamesh is an amazing character. I would like to see him be a protagonist sometime. I want a Gilgamesh video game, please. That's all I'm going to say, and we're going to move on to Final Fantasy VI, which is going to be in the most interesting spot here, because my opinion flip-flops on 6. I would have put it, like, maybe a decade ago, S tier. I'd be like, no question, it's the best of the best. Then I'd probably put it A tier, and then I learned the truth, and that the leveling system is actually the most terrifying thing to have to deal with in a game that you don't really have to worry about, but still, every time you level up, you only gain HP and MP. If you want stat increases, you gotta equip the Magicite that boosts those stats, and they only boost one stat, and there are some that do better than others, and there's only one thing that boosts speed, and it's a temporary Esper. That alone, actually, in all seriousness, despite everything that's amazing about that game, I'm putting it in C tier. I feel dirty doing that, I'll be honest. But I hate leveling up. I hate playing the game because I feel like every level up I can get will hurt, so it bugs me. It bugs me a lot. However, this game's also in an interesting position because I'm making this before I start streaming Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. So my opinion could go up or it could go down. But I've played it a lot as a kid. We rented it on the SNES. It was fantastic. And all my complaints about the version releases from 5 apply here, so I won't repeat myself there. But yeah, no, it's an amazing game. Amazing story. It's very cool what it does. Kafka's a little overrated, I'd think. He's just a funny clown man who's all about apathy, baby. He's like the worst of the worst when it comes to despair and death, and that's what the whole story is about. It's about loss. I'm not going to do an analysis. This is a tier list, not an analysis thing, so. But hey, characters look cool, sprite work's amazing, music's great. I don't know any standout tracks, I'll be honest. They're all really good. There's a lot of really good songs, though, so just listen to the soundtrack. And other than that, I think C tier is honestly where it goes, and it feels weird. I feel like I should put it in B tier. I feel like I'm only putting it out of spite. You know, screw it. I am putting it out of spite. It's going to B tier. I feel like I'm letting the leveling system affect me too much. It's not that bad. It's just a mental thing. It's all. That's all. All right, there. B tier's fine. I might change it later. I don't know. But let's go to Final Fantasy VII, and this is going in the S tier. This is my second favorite Final Fantasy. Wow, amazing. This is what I think awokened my love for anime. Cool, edgy anime. Oh, Nomura, you're an amazing character designer. You really are. When you don't go insane. I love 7. I love playing 7. It's so great. I love the story. I love the feel. Everything about it's just right, and it's cool because you can experiment with materia even though you don't have to because the game's not that hard. Because something you learn when you play Final Fantasy is the attack fight option is usually the best. It's by far the best thing you can use. So, I mean, it's still good to have the materia, but it's a cool system. I love it. I appreciate it. I would definitely put it as S tier. It's like it's like the fundamental Final Fantasy I've played. Thankfully, while there were a couple of re-releases on 7, they're basically all the same. So I just say grab whatever's on modern consoles, because you can use cheats. You can turn off encounters. You can give yourself God mode. And there's a ×3 speed thing, so that's just great. The story's fantastic, like I said. There's a reason why there's 4 Final Fantasy 7s coming right up. There is a reason for that. Oh my god. And we've played 3 of them on this channel, so hey, good work. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints that I can think of for 7. I'm sure if you give me long enough of a time, I'll figure something out, but I like it. I love it. 7 is... it's S tier. It's the best of the best. Next to 1. 1 is better. So, let's get into the spin-offs of 7. This is going to be fun. This is fun. Starting off with Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, released on the PSP. It got a re-release with the Reunion on modern consoles, with all new voice acting and updated graphics. Other than that, it's basically the same game. I think. I don't remember. I played a bit of the original on PSP, at least halfway through, but I finished the entire playthrough on stream through the PlayStation 5 version, or 4. So where would I put it? It's not a bad game, so it's staying out of these 2 tiers. I wouldn't say it's D. I kind of want to put it in C, honestly. It feels really weird. I don't know. It's either C or B. Now I'm going to have to basically talk about it because I don't know. The music's fantastic. Really good. Although I don't think it's funny they reuse like the main theme like 20 different times. It's great. The characters are enjoyable. Although a lot of the OCs, the new characters added to this version are horrible. Genesis is a terrible villain. And I mean that in a bad way, of course. Angeal is weird. And yeah. Cissnei is the best character that was added. So, bless her for being like second best girl in the series. Where do I feel like putting it? I feel like putting it in B, but I could make an argument for C. I just feel more comfortable in that. Or something, it just feels right to me. And that's good, because now I have to debate on where I put Dirge of Cerberus. Oh, Dirge of Cerberus. Oh my god. Alright. I only played it once, and it was many years ago. So, my memory on this isn't the most fresh. I remember I beat it. I remember I also thought I could grind in one level, and then I found out how the leveling system works, where it's more so it just saves at that point, and you don't actually gain experience. It's really weird. Otherwise, it's an okay shooter. I don't think I'd ever want to play it again, unless it's on this channel. I never want to play it again outside of this channel, so hopefully it gets a re-release or it can fix some stuff. But where I would put it, like, E or D, where does that go? I suppose the question is, would I rather play Dirge of Cerberus or 2? And I'd rather play Dirge of Cerberus, so I'll put it in the D tier. I feel like that's a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's F tier, and it's like, I enjoyed it as a kid. Maybe now I'd hate it. That's very possible, so D is fine for now. D for Dirge. Okay, I just want to see I'm ready for the remaster to be called Redemption, or they can be lame and reloaded. Or redirged. I don't know. Alright. Here's a fun one. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay. Alright. FF7 Remake. This is, I feel like this is where I'm gonna make some enemies. Maybe. 7 Remake was good. I enjoyed it all the way through. It had a lot of cute moments. I'm really glad they're actually remaking 7 as a whole because we got a lot of 7 content over the years. You could easily make a tier list solely on Final Fantasy VII products, whether it be animes, movies, or games. You could do that. There's a lot of stuff in 7. And it would be great to just put it all into one. It's a shame that 7 Remake doesn't really do that. I don't know how to rate this. This is weird, because this is also arguably, and outside of the MMOs, one of the things where the post-game, there's a lot more to it once you beat the credits. Namely, the hard mode. So it's like, I feel like I gotta factor that in, but I never played hard mode. But I know enough about it that I don't like it. But overall, I do like where Remake ended and how unique and fresh it felt. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. My brain was starting to think B tier at first, but no, I think A tier is perfectly fine. If I could bump it up any, it would be to, I don't know, just don't make hard mode a thing. And also give me more all materials, please. I don't want just one. It sucks. I hate it. Well, let's move on to the sequel, Rebirth. We just played that earlier this year. So, very fresh opinion. C tier. Oh, I feel like I'm pissing people off on that choice. But hear me out. It's my opinion. And Rebirth is a perfectly fine game. But holy shit, those minigames can go die in a fire. I'm not going to complain that there's too many. I'm going to complain that they all are pretty mediocre, except for like two or three. Queen's Blood is fantastic. I really love Cool Queen's Blood playing it, but there are so many minigames that just felt too aggravating. And then the game goes, oh, you have to do them really good for 100% completion. And it's like, that's not right. In the original 7, there was a bunch of minigames you played for fun, and that was it. I didn't like them tying so many rewards to it, because it's like, then you feel obligated if you're just trying to get cool stuff. And some of them are, they're just a lot of, like, just garbage. So, I do have to let that hit. That being said, also, open world is generic and blah. Chadley is a terrible character, and while he was in 7 Remake, he becomes the next level annoying in Rebirth. So, yeah, the plus sides are it's Final Fantasy VII Remake, but more. So, yeah. I'm also a little disappointed with how the story went, I will mention. I don't want to say too much, because the game's still very new. So, I don't want to give any, open statements on that. But, yeah. It's a very mixed bag for me, Rebirth. Overall story, great. Do I have a problem with it? Absolutely. I can't wait to see where Part 3 goes. So, hopefully, when Part 3 comes out, we can solve the mystery as to what happens, you know? So, we'll see. But C tier is where I'd put it. Alright. Final Fantasy VIII. Oh, this is F tier. We're not even arguing that one. It's F tier. Music's good. Congratulations, I've said everything great about it, other than, hey, the Gunblade's actually kinda cool. Let's be real. It's a really cool idea. I love the Gunblade. I like the music. I don't think I like anything else about the game. And I'm including Triple Triad on that, which is insane because Triple Triad is a lot of fun until you play it and they start adding rules that you don't like and you don't have a choice but to accept. So it gets ruined. I like the junctioning system on paper, but it's just obnoxious if you want to build up your stats. Level scaling also is weird with that game, because enemies will scale and so will encounters, and with encounters also comes different drops, and it's just a mess, and it's just, I don't like it. And I'd hate when games scale off your level, because it's like, then what's the point in gaining levels? And with the junctioning system, you don't have to win fights. You can just draw magic until you cap out and then leave. Okay. So, there are so many gripes with 8. I never want to play it, I think, again. And I never will, as long as I have to. So, F tier is where it goes. It can die in a fire. It can die in a fire. Final Fantasy IX. Oh boy. Oh boy. This one's a tough one. I want to play 9 again. I'm going to play it sometime in the future on this channel. So, a lot of my opinion, I don't honestly remember a lot, so I can't really give a thing. It was beaten when I was a kid. My brother beat it, but we played the co-op 2-player mode that they had in some of the games. So I have a good amount of experience. Final Fantasy IX also does a couple things I don't like, but it's overall a really enjoyable game, and I want to go through the story. The story's fantastic. Play whatever version you feel like. 7 and 8, I should mention. Oh, I mentioned it was 7, but 8 had it too, and 9 is 2. Play the latest versions. They add little things to help out. Do it. My biggest gripes with 9 are basically level up related. Shocker. 9 has hidden stat bonuses in gear. It doesn't tell you about it. There's no hint towards it, but your gear affects your stat growth. Better stat gear gives you better stats. Enjoy that knowledge when you level up your weak weapons in hand. Also, the last character you get can have less passive points, because fuck you. Because fuck you, you leveled up too much without him. And by that I mean you leveled up, period. The only way you can make him optimal like everyone else is to get him at level 1, which means a hell of a playthrough. Don't recommend it, but it's stupid. It's stupid, but it's the thing. But yeah, no, when I play this game on the channel, I'm gonna use the mods. I'll mention them later, obviously, but there's some stuff it'll fix my problems, so we can just enjoy a pure experience. But as for the experience we got right now, I gotta put it in C tier. I know! Okay, keep this in mind. When something's in C tier, I still consider it a positive experience. So, I like 9, and I'm probably going to shoot it up to like A tier. I can see that happening when I play it again. Because I'm basing it off of memories from when I'm a kid. So, I can't go into details because it's been too long. Anyways, I'm amazed I've actually played this many Final Fantasy games. We've done most of the list here, it's great. Sort of half, I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to 10. Final Fantasy X. I've watched someone play through the whole game. I've played through most of the game myself, so my experience is pretty good, I'd say. The ultimate weapon thing is the most garbage thing I've ever seen in a Final Fantasy game. That's gonna hit some points off, and at least everything else. And this one's tough because I love the combat system in 10. 10 is like the best turn-based they've done. Straight up. I'm not counting ATB on that, but I might as well. I might as well. I might actually play 10 in the future. I don't know on the channel. I haven't fully decided, so I might. I won't worry about ultimate weapon stuff. Jesus Christ, I want to live. I don't want to do 200 lightning bolts in a row. But otherwise, this is a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy games, and I mean a lot of people. I don't share that opinion. I'm hovering over C. I'm hovering C tier, maybe B tier. But it would be bottom of B tier. So here's the easiest way to answer it. Would I rather play this or 7 Rebirth again? And I don't know. I would have to say they're tied. So, C tier. I'd have to. I don't know where to put it. I might need to play it again to get a full, like, remindering of everything, so... It's weird, but... I think the character designs are pretty hit or miss, leaning towards miss for a lot of the characters. I don't remember a lot of the music in 10, which is kind of crazy because I feel like there's a lot of bangers, but I just don't remember them. I know the battle theme, that one's a great one. But the story is weird, and I don't like Yuna. I think Yuna is an overrated character. I'm not saying this out of spite or jealousy, but I really don't understand why she's considered to be like everyone's favorite Final Fantasy female character. It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I really don't. And also, and on that note, I want to just say it. I'm gonna say something real crazy here. Mr. Tidus, he's better than what everyone thinks. He is a really good character. So that's just the truth. I think Tidus is one of the best protagonists in the series. And people don't give him enough credit because they go look at the laughing scene and they just go, oh, he's a terrible character and whole poorly art voice act, blah, blah, blah. 10 is great for the characters, actually. For individual character moments, it's really good. The overall story, I think is pretty hit or miss. Anyways, I think C is where I'm comfortable, only because I compare it to 7 Rebirth. Alright. That being said, we're going to go really quick on the next two, because simply put, I've never played 10-2, and I've never played Final Fantasy 11. I've never touched them, I have zero experience, although I feel like I would hate 11 a lot because of the level down system, where every time you die you lose experience and you can level down as a result. Or that could happen, and that's stupid, but I've never played them. And I can't say anything about 10-2. I haven't formed a fair opinion, because all I've seen is footage, so, There we go, nice and simple. Don't worry, we're actually going to start getting into games where I can't give an opinion on. So, this category is being used, hooray! Alright. Let's go Final Fantasy 12. Ooh, this is a tough one. This is an actual tough one. I really like 12. I've never beat 12. Because every time I play through, something happens and I just either lose interest or the situation that allowed me to play it disappeared. So I've never played far, although I think I at least hit the halfway point of the game. Every time. And I want to keep playing it. I am going to play it for this channel, if only so I can have an excuse to finally beat the fucking thing. That being said, I love 12's gameplay. I actually do. For a recommendation on versions, there's like only really... This is a weird one, actually. Every time they re-released 12, they added something to it. I don't know what the latest version is. It might be the PC version, it might be the Switch version, or it might even be the Xbox version. But they keep adding stuff. They keep changing things, and the earlier versions don't get it. Unless you're, like, really lucky. So... Let's just break it down to the two main versions, and that's 12 and Zodiac Age. The real difference is Zodiac Age adds weapons and a class system, where you can choose classes for a character or job. I keep calling them classes. That's my tabletop brain working, not my Final Fantasy brain, I swear. But adds a job system where you can choose up to 2 jobs, and that sets the characters in stone for the playthrough. If you play the original, you can just access every single job in the game and everything, or every single piece of gear or whatever. But jobs make everyone more specialized, but they make those specializations better. Hit or miss on if you want that or not in the game. Although there are mods on PC which gives you the original board so you can just master everything. So you can change it that way, but I like the job system. A part of me wishes I didn't have to choose the jobs, but it's good. Where would I put it? I want to put it in the B slot. I think the story's interesting. I really do. I highly recommend checking it out for the story. It's actually kind of interesting. At least at the beginning. Like I said, I haven't beaten the game, so I don't know what it's all like by endgame. But it exists. And it is what I remember is interesting. And yes, I know Vaughn's not the main character, but he is the main character. It's weird. Everyone's the main character when they're in the party. Simple as that, alright? Except Fran. She's probably the least important. Ah, well, she's the sexy bunny girl. If you want that, there you go. Congratulations, you fucking weirdo. Alright. Let's move on to Revenant Wings. Haven't played it. Simple as that. Also, like, forgettable because I don't recall much about... No one ever talks about Revenant Wings, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. So, congratulations. You're a sequel that follows up on Vaughn and Penello's stories, so congratulations, you guys are the main characters, I guess? Sort of? I don't know. Vaughn's the character we see everything through going on, so I guess I don't know, it's weird. Alright, let's move on, because... Oh boy, 13. Oh boy. This one's fun, because I don't know where to put my opinion. I really want to play through 13. That's a very high on my list for what games I want to play on my channel. Because everyone hated 13 when it came out, but opinions starting to change. I'm starting to see a lot of people's opinions, and I'm trying not to put my opinion in other people's stuff in there. But I am reflecting based on what people have said, and it's going, did I hate the game, or was I just in that phase, you know, where everyone had to shit on 13? It's F tier. And when I look back, it's kind of alright. This was a weird one, because it's going to be lower than what it probably will ultimately be, but... yeah. I'd have to put it D tier, and I want to put it higher, but I don't remember much. I think I played... when I played, I didn't play enough of the game. Obviously, I didn't play through... I don't even think I played halfway through. But I remember just being instantly almost burned out, and now I just look back and go, is it because I was trying to play it with a blank slate but couldn't? I don't know. I want to give it a fair shot. I think that's only fair. Because looking back at the ATB system they had for the game, it's kind of unique. I know we can shit on auto battles, but I'm starting to appreciate auto battles nowadays, so it has a chance. It has a chance to win me back. So it's a D, but it could be higher. It could be S, who knows? It could be, probably not. Anyways, obviously, based on what I just said, I've never played 13-2, and I haven't played Lightning Returns. So I gotta toss them into the never played. I really haven't played any of these. It's going horribly. So is my life. But yeah, I need to give 13 a fair shake again. I really do. And I think I'm finally in the right mindset to actually do it. Maybe even be pre-positive in advance, right? Big difference. Alright, Final Fantasy 14. Okay, this one is really tough for me to want to rate. I have to toss it into didn't play enough, because I did actually play a small amount of it. Small amount of it. There we go. Small amount of it. But I barely touched the surface of the game, and I definitely didn't touch any expansions, because I got like the free, like the 1 month, whatever. I got all the free-ish stuff, and this was before they did all the free trial stuff. So very different experience. If I played it now, I could play through so much of the expansions. I would be so happy. I really want to play this with friends, so yeah. If I had to rate it based on what I've seen, know, and hear about, and what I've played, I'd probably put it B here. Yeah, I would say probably B. Based on what I've heard and what I've played. I played the monk. I want to straight that. I picked the monk as my starting job, and I loved it. So, there we go. Or pugilist, I guess. It was a monk, I think, after, or was it black belt? I don't remember. It's been a long time. But that's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion. Final Fantasy 15. Ooh, this one's a rough one. Oh man, I'm just gonna say it now. I think it's a D tier game. There's a lot of DLCs, added a lot, but hey, where's that story? Oh, it's in the 5 different things that they released before the game came out, or that really bad movie, Kingsglaive. Oh, thanks. Oh boy, I'll get right on that. You want me to buy the DLC so I can know what the fuck happened to my party? Oh, okay, yeah. You want me to understand the villain's motive? Oh, okay, you're going to release a DLC for that. Cool, great, fantastic. Gameplay's alright. The gameplay's the only real positive I can say without any problems, you know? But, yeah. Yeah, I gotta put it in D. I got it... It's also I'm bitter because I started over at one point and I lost out on my Assassin's Creed gear because of it, because they made that limited time for some fucking reason. Anyways, that's about it. I can give that on 15. I wish I could have played the multiplayer Comrades expansion, or standalone, I guess. And it was really cool that when they re-released the game with the Royal Edition, you could party up for quests with your multiplayer character. That was really cool. I wish I played the multiplayer so that when my guy wasn't level 1 in the end game, because he got killed a lot as a result of not being leveled up, but it was still really cool. It was really cool to see him. But yeah, that's my opinion. 15 was eh. It was honestly just eh. It was undercooked. I kind of wish we got Versus 13 instead, but if you have half an idea as to what happened with the development of the game, oh my god, so much was cut, so much was lost. The original vision of the game was probably infinitely better than what we got. We definitely just gotta fuck it. We got all we can, you know. It hurts, but it is what it is. D tier it is. Next up, Final Fantasy 16. Okay, this one's rough, because I definitely have to put it in the didn't play enough category. Base gameplay will probably alone be shooting it up here. Story, I have no idea. Like, I could put this as a high tier game. Okay. I don't think I'm not even halfway done the game. I don't think I unlocked all the basic features, I'll be honest. I was streaming it. I did it as a little test to try doing late night streams. And then it turns out I don't like doing late night streams. So now I held off until the DLC released. And now that the expansions are all out, I will go back to it and finish it. And then I can give a more complete opinion, but my schedule has to open up for that. So, yeah, I can't give it a full opinion. I like the character actionness of it all. The RPG elements are a little undercooked. I think the level up is like I don't like it. I don't like it really that much. It's weird. I wish we had a more expanded party. But Torgal's pretty cool. I like Torgal. He's a cool dog. I wish he better healed. Anyways, yeah, so I had to put it in didn't play enough. Simple as that. And with that, we got all the mainline Final Fantasies taken care of. All the numbered entries. Hooray! And their sequels. Ah! This is where shit gets interesting. Oh boy, we're starting with the spin-offs, and we are starting with a goddamn Mystic Quest. Oh, Mystic Quest. Where would I put you? I think I have to toss you into F tier. You are a Final Fantasy designed for people who've never played a video game once in their life. I think you went a little too far in that direction. You're a basic game. There are elements, I would say, that are better than 8. But it's just bare-ass basic, and ugh, I wouldn't recommend it. I would never recommend it. Although it did get re-released, I think, once, but in Japan only. I don't know if I'd ever want to give it a chance again. It's a good shut off your brain kind of game, I guess, but is that good? I don't think so. Not for... Like, when you make an easy Final Fantasy game, that's funny, because a lot of these games are easy, so, oh god. The story is also not that remarkable. It's bare bones as all hell. So yeah, it belongs in F tier. It sounds... I don't even know if the music's that good. I don't recall any of the songs, except for maybe the battle theme. Oh yeah, here's another problem I have with Mystic Quest. You can lose the first fight in the game. Like, if RNG just hates you, you will lose. But hey, you can infinitely retry a fight until you win, so, cool. It's not even skill-based, just roll the dice, you win or lose. Okay, cool. Anyways, that's enough of my gripes. Not Crystal Crisis Core. The other CC Final Fantasy, Crystal Chronicles. Oh, Ooh, this one's a hard one to rate, because I definitely played a lot of it, but I didn't play it with multiplayer. It was a game designed for multiplayer, but they forced everyone to use a GBA, so as a result, I never got to play it with friends. I want to play Crystal Chronicles. I don't know why I keep saying Crisis Core. I want to play Crystal Chronicles with a friend. That doesn't exist. It doesn't. No easy way exists. You can either find a GameCube, 4 Game Boy Advances, 4 link cables to the GameCube. That's the way to play. Or you can play the remaster, which sucks balls. Because they made it, because it's based on it's a mobile game that they threw on consoles. And they also made it so that only the host makes progress in the story, which is stupid. Because everyone progressed before in multiplayer on GameCube. Why did they screw it up? I don't know. I haven't played this with friends, so I can't give a fair opinion. But I still have to give an opinion because I played a lot of it. I would put it in C tier. And I bet you if I played the multiplayer, I'd probably shoot it up to B tier. But I gotta put it where it belongs. Alright. Next game. World of Final Fantasy. This is another game I want to play on the channel. Because I don't recall playing a lot of it. But I've seen enough of the game to, I think, make a fair opinion. The gameplay is really good. The characters can go die in a fire. They can go die in 3 fires, hopefully consecutively, in a row, and then burn their families down too. The party characters, don't burn anyone else. Don't actually burn people. The Pokemon-esque mechanic in stacking is really cool. I actually want to give the game kudos on that. So, overall, I want to toss it in D tier, because while I definitely got a good grasp of the situation as a whole, it has its problems, but what I've played was enough to make me go, alright, I want to see more. You have your chance to fix yourself. So D tier is where it goes. I have a feeling I don't think I'm gonna like the characters. Oh my god, the male character was brain dead, is just annoying, and there's that one thing that says "the" all the time for no reason. It's not cute, it's stupid. It makes me frustrated, but the gameplay's good. So it kind of just weighs on itself, right? It's 50-50. Final Fantasy game's story is almost as important as its gameplay. Unless you're one of the NES games, which has no story. So, yeah. D tier. Maybe higher, maybe lower, I don't know. I have to play through it whole, and hopefully we will on the channel. Next up, though, here's a fun one. Dissidia. The original Dissidia. This is Duodecim, by the way. I was considering putting both the original and Duodecim on here, but Duodecim is just a better version of the original because it adds the characters, it adds a bunch of characters, and also it even just has all the content from the original, so it's a little redundant. Because whatever I give one, I have to put like 2 on a tier higher. So that being said, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna put it in. I don't know. It's A or B. Duodecim, Dissidia. It's a fighting game. It's a very unique fighting game. I think, honestly, the one thing that holds it back the most is its control scheme, because it's made for a PSP, so it's basically really annoying to play on another console, and it needs a more stretched out commands where it feels more natural on a controller. But otherwise, it's really fun. I'm gonna have to put it in B. I want to put it in A, but like, it has a couple problems, I'd say. It's just overall, oof. I enjoy it. It's a great game for the series. Very unique. I want to see more. NT is going in the F tier. I'm amazed. We only have one game in E tier. That's incredible. That's fine though, because Dissidia NT is not what anybody wanted from Dissidia. We wanted it to come to modern consoles, updated control scheme. That's it. That's all. I think most of us would have been happy if we just had an updated roster. And then they said, what if we made it an arcade game, those microtransaction and loot boxes, and also no depth to the combat because we have to make it 3v3 friendly. Well, I say no depth, but there was some things. I hate it. I hated it. You had to play a game a few times just to unlock bits of the story. I just wanted to play the story. And the game's like, no, go do more random matchmaking or whatever. Play our online mode. It's stupid. You want... It had potential. It took out the leveling system, which made it unique. Because they had to make it basically online friendly, right? And, oh, it hurts to even think about. What a way to die. Oh, man. I played the beta at one point, and we got, like, disconnected from a friend, and we learned very quickly during the beta the AI was so bad that if you even had one of them on your team, you lost. So, it was just not a fun time. And I dropped it very quickly as a result. We could have had so much more, man. We could have had so much more. Let's talk positive. I need to talk positive right here, right now. Final Fantasy Tactics. You're a fucking goat. You're going in S tier. Oh my god. Alright, I feel better already. Tactics is a fantastic game. I love playing it as a kid. It's got a couple of re-release on the PSP, the War of the Lions. That's basically the best version to play, and I say that with an asterisk. The extra content's really good. It adds more characters from other Final Fantasies, and it just improves everything. So, the War of the Lions is the best way to play it, but if you're playing it, find a way to fix the graphical issues that exist, or when the game slows down and every time a special effect goes off in battle. And I mean every time, including items, spells, all the time. It has frame rate problems on PSP, no idea why. There are plenty of ROM hacks that can fix it. I know the phone version, I believe, fixed it, so it's exclusive to the PSP for that issue. But there's also word as of right now that they're remaking Tactics, so that's also going to be the best. That's probably going to be the best way to play the game. Also, the soundtrack is fucking perfect. I don't think I could gush about that soundtrack. Oh my god, every single song is good. It is so good. It is the music I put on when I want to think tabletops, because it just fucking rocks Medieval. Oh man. So fucking good. I can't think of a single problem with the game other than level scaling for random encounters, but that's only an issue if you want to use new party members. Oops. I mean, you're not. Unless you really want to use Cloud when you get him. He only joins at level 1. And that's really it. I love Tactics. I really do. I can't wait to play it again. So it belongs in the S tier easily. Alright. That being said, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I have not played it. I may have played it for maybe like 20 minutes, and that was it. Same thing with Tactics A2. I actually own A2. I never actually owned Advance, but my friends love A2, so I don't get it. Maybe I should stream it sometime. Maybe we can see why A2 is so good. I got it, when I was a wee little kid for Christmas. And I was really disappointed when I found out that both Advance games didn't let me make custom units like the original did. Ooh, that's a rough one. Oh well, it's a stupid reason, but you know what, that's fine. I wouldn't mind giving A2 another chance, but I recently watched somebody play on YouTube Tactics Advance, and I saw the loss system, and I just went, fucking no. No thank you. I don't like the loss system, but I haven't played it, so I can't give that a fair opinion. Let's move on. Type 0, Final Fantasy. Man, I was excited when this game came out. I barely played it. I have to toss it in the didn't play category. If I were to grade it based on what I played, I don't remember enough. I remember the Moogles sounding weird, and I hated it. They almost sounded sexualized, if that makes any sense. That sounds really weird to say out loud. Sexualized Moogle. Ugh. But anyways, Kapow! It sounded like that, and it's just like, what the fuck? Alright, no, thank you. But yeah, I want to give Type 0 another shot. No real issues I had, it was just a scheduling thing at the time where I lost interest as a result. I would love to play it on the channel, so that'll be played in the future. I can't believe I put all these games on here that I didn't play. That's crazy. Anyways, Theater Rhythm. Oh my god. Back into the never been played territory you go. I never played them. I never played any of the Theater Rhythm games. So the reason why I put only one of them here is because I don't know the differences between all the games other than the soundtrack. So I am assuming, like Duodecim, that the two previous Theater Rhythm games are the same, but with less content than the latest one. I'm assuming. I could be very wrong, and I will own up to that. But that's just how I see things. So I only put the Final Bar Line here because that's the only one that I could play. I own it. I've been meaning to play it. I actually own the Switch version, which, funny enough, that was the only picture I could really find was of the Switch version. But yeah, I don't know if it's any good. I want to give it a fair shake, but I don't know anything other than it's a rhythm game, so yeah. Is the series are they all basically the same? I don't know. I know this one adds a bunch of songs from other series as DLC, so that's cool. And I can definitely say the soundtrack's S tier, but I don't have any experience with the game, so in the didn't know. And that leaves one last game. S tier. Strangers of Paradise, S tier, best game of the franchise. Now, Strangers of Paradise is actually really good. People meme the hell out of it with Chaos, with Jack. But honestly, I like him as a protagonist. He's honestly really great, and he makes the story. Have I beaten the game? No. Time conflict this time, but hey, it's not my fault this time. I was playing it with a friend, which is quite honestly the best way to play the game. It is a Souls-like, so if you played Dark Souls, or better yet, if you've played Neo, if you played Neo or Wolong, any of the Team Ninja games, it plays like that. But it's with the Final Fantasy skin, and that makes it so good. Because they added the job system, and when you're playing on hard mode, oh my god, do jobs matter. And then, oh, it's so good then! Because now you have to actually play as a team. You have to have that white mage ready to support. It's so fun in multiplayer on hard. I recommend playing it with 2 friends, you know, getting the full 3-player experience. But as much as I do, I gotta actually put it in A tier. It hurts. For basically one reason. And it's a silly reason because I haven't gotten to it, but I've also heard enough to know that it's a problem. And that's the DLC. I know it's weird to base the game on the DLC, but I mean, I was kind of putting my opinions on the games on various re-releases. It's only fair to factor in DLC. So, with the DLC, it's basically post-game in general, right? You gotta, like, grind your ass off just to be able to do the DLC. You might even have to beat the game, like, multiple times. I don't know the exact details on that, but it sucks. And also, the Neo showed that the post-game stuff really is bad. Neo 2 was, like, my game of the year when it came out, but, like, the last DLC hurt it because it was so... But, I mean... It's a really good Final Fantasy. I recommend it. If I were to improve upon Strangers of Paradise... Well, actually, I would actually add custom characters, because I think it's really lame that when you play multiplayer, you use the NPC companions that goes with Jack for player 2 and 3, and their appearance is based on what your player 1 has them, so they're not going to look like how your custom character looks. And I say custom, but you don't customize. I think it's really dumb. It's such a weird complaint, but it's kind of lame that you can't see your visual progression when you're playing co-op, unless you're player 1. So it hurts a little bit, but that's a minor complaint. I would love the sequel to Strangers of Paradise. I want it to be based on Final Fantasy 1. Directly. Not how Strangers of Paradise does it. Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins, is a prequel to 1. I would love to see a just straight up Final Fantasy 1 played in the style of Strangers of Paradise, but they keep the custom characters as in, like, because you can play as the Warrior of Light. So, hell yeah, do it. Do it. That'd be great. 3-player co-op. You know, just it'd be fun. You can do it because Strangers of Origins Paradise does do co-op really good. It's just let us be creative, because the creative character stuff in the Neo and Wo Long are really good, all things considered. And I would like to see more of that. And I want to see that with a Final Fantasy skin. Strangers of Paradise S tier gameplay, A tier post game. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my opinion. That's my gradings of every Final Fantasy game. Before we leave, let's double check things. Would I change anything on this page? Would I change anything? I don't think so. Let's go. Final Fantasy 1, S tier. 7, S tier. Tactic, S tier. Yes. A. Final Fantasy 5. The story's lame, but the gameplay's fantastic. A tier belongs. 7 remake, fantastic, tight, good to play. Strangers of Paradise, perfectly fine. B tier. 3, 4, and 6. Do I have any problems with that? No. No and no. Crisis Core, right where it belongs. 12 is where it belongs. Duodecim. B is right. B feels right. C tier! Where things get controversial. C for controversial, baby. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Yeah. 9. Yeah. 10. Absolutely. Yeah. Crystal. Yeah. Yeah. If anything, I'm thinking of bringing Crystal Crisis down to D, but... No, I feel like I can't justify it. I can't justify it. Because I'd rather play it than 4 After Years again. And 4 After Years was simply alright, but... Yeah. And then there's Dirge of Cerberus, 13, which is bound to improve when I actually play it again. 15 there in Worlds of Final Fantasy, which is... It has to see more, but I feel like I said, I've got a solid enough opinion that I remember. So it's there. E tier being the sole Final Fantasy 2 location. Yeah, that works for me. That really does. And then the games that I never want to touch again. Final Fantasy 8, Mystic Quest, and NT. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty solid on that tier list, honestly. The biggest question was Crystal Chronicles. God damn it. I don't know why I can't say Crystal Chronicles, and I just keep thinking Crisis Core. Oh, but yeah, I would love to play 13, Crystal Chronicles, and World of Final Fantasy, and 9, and just replace them somewhere else. Same with 6. But I wouldn't change anything else. And I really should get around to playing the 13 trilogy, Tactics A2, Type 0, and Theater Rhythm. I really need to get around to those. And I want to play 14! Give me some friends, people! Come on! I know where you live. Give me my 14. Alright. That's a fun tier list. This was fun. This took us almost an hour and a half. That's great. That's great. I got some of my hatred out of me that I've been storing all these years that I can't wait to always share for now and forever. So, hey, how about you tell me, what do you think of my tier list? Obviously, I'm not going to change my opinion. But how much of it do you agree with? How much do you disagree with? How much would you put into other people's opinion? How about that? And I think everyone should play 5 again. 5 is way better than what everyone remembers because nobody played 5. Alright, but that's about it. I think we covered everything bases. Like I said, I wasn't covering gacha games because that's solely dependent on polls, can affect your opinion, and that's not right to do. And all the Brazos is F tier, don't worry. Even then. But yeah, that's I think that's a solid. That's a solid. So this will be going up probably before my Final Fantasy VI streams, so the opinions are going to change. But otherwise, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you sat down and enjoyed this long video. And it would do me a huge favor, a huge solid, you know, if you were to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you did all that stuff, please subscribe. It means a lot. And also, yeah, in the comments, actually tell me if you want to see more tier lists like this. I could probably fart out a few more if I knew what I was looking for, and I can share my opinion. That's cool. You should do that. Anyways, that's gonna be it. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, do all of that stuff, and make me a happy camper, a happy boy, a happy boy. And until I see you guys again, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful night. This is Captain Razhe, and I am heading out. Have a good one, guys.